Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a blessed week. Mine went really good this week. Hey, I wanted to talk to you for just a minute about those who are asleep. And our scripture comes from 1 Thessalonians 5, 4, 5, and 6. This is what it says. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all children of light, children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as others do, but let us watch and be sober. You know, I know so many people, friends, relatives, Christians, who are absolutely spiritually asleep. They're just in that mode of, well, I'm saved, so I don't have to worry about anybody else. Or they're not saved at all and they're just oblivious. You know, a couple things happen when you're asleep, and that's what I want to talk about. Number one, when you're asleep, you have absolutely no cares whatsoever. When you're laying there sleeping, you have no cares. I remember one of the greatest things in life is when you're watching a little baby sleep. You know, when you're watching a little baby sleep, they have this little expression on their face, and they don't have a care in the world. They're just in total bliss. In other words, you're in peace and safety. Not a care in the world. I know so many people who are absolutely clueless as to this world and what's going on around them. I just heard a conversation recently about this one lady. She was a PhD, and she was a total New Ager. And they believe that the earth is a living organism. And all of them, all the people, all the New Agers, they make up God. In other words, they're all a little piece of this divine God. And they believe that one day everybody that does not have that train of thought will be eliminated. And I got a feeling that when the rapture takes place, they're going to go, yep, that was it. They're all eliminated. But anyway, so many people are absolutely spiritually blind, and they have no clue to the world around them. They have no clue that there are other beings besides us. The angelic host, the fallen angels, the departed spirits of the Nephilim that make up the demons that roam this earth. They're just clueless to everything. Unless they can see it with their eyes, they want nothing to do with it. And this is the bad part about that, is those people are clueless that one day they will die. And on the day they die, if they are not born again, they will be handed over to the demonic host. And they will have no power. That demonic host will take them to hell where they absolutely don't want to go. That will be the day of the Great Awakening. Remember the beggar, Lazarus, and the rich man? It said the rich man opened his eyes in hell. He opened his eyes and all of a sudden he realized, man, did I ever blow it. But most people are clueless as to the spiritual world all around them. Another thing that happens when you're asleep is, when you're asleep, you are extremely vulnerable. You're vulnerable. You're laying there asleep. You can't defend yourself. Anything can attack you. Anyone can attack you. You're sleeping. And that's one of the worst parts about sleeping, is you cannot defend yourself. Let's take a look at 16 men who were caught sleeping. It's found in Acts 12:4. And when Herod, had apprehended Peter, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers. In other words, 4 bands of 4 soldiers each, 16 total, to keep him intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. So Herod had plans on killing Peter. That's what he was going to do. And then all of a sudden that night, these 16 soldiers, right? There's just one Peter, and there's 16 of them. And they were completely inside the jail, in the inner part of the jail, and Peter was bound between two of them, and all the others were all there, and they probably thought, there's no way this guy's going to escape. I mean, there's 16 of us, plus the jailer. There's no way, nothing's going to happen. So they all had Peter, fully secured. All the jail was secured. And so that they didn't keep watch. They all just sat there and kind of dozed off. And then pretty soon this angel comes in and sees to it that they stayed asleep. And, Peter was just, the chains fell off and the doors opened of themselves, and Peter was completely delivered. And then the next morning, when Herod sought for Peter and found him not, he examined the keepers. In other words, he had all the 16 soldiers interrogated and commanded that they should be put to death. And he went down from Judea to Caesarea and there abode. So listen, these jailers and these 16 soldiers, they were clueless as to what was going to happen to them that night. They had no way of knowing that an angel of the Lord was going to come in there and take Peter. They thought they were totally secure. There's no way Peter could get away. There were 16 of them. There's no way. But yet it happened. And it happened because they were asleep. People, listen. As a born-again believer, this is not the time to be asleep. This is the time to be about the Lord's work. Be examining yourself, make sure there's nothing in your life that doesn't belong there, and figure out some way to witness to others, whatever works for you. I just dusted off a book that it was written by Tom Horn in 2016. It was called On the Path of the Immortals, and I read it when I got it, and I just pulled it off my bookshelf and started reading it again. I'm about halfway through it. People, listen. We are absolutely living in the end times. When Malachi made his list of all the remaining popes, this guy right now, Francis, he's the last one. We can look around us and see the condition of the world, and we know we're in the absolute last times. People, this is what I want to tell you. Don't be asleep. Don't get complacent. The Lord's return is imminent. Be about the Lord's work. Make sure you're ready. Make sure you're ready. And it's time to witness like you never have before. Don't be asleep. Anyway, I just want to give you something to think about. Heaven or hell, you choose. Just remember, once you take your last breath, it's a done deal.